Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Returning Home podcast, hosted by yours truly, Lin Lim. And in today's episode, we're going to be diving deep into the topic of your soul mission, your soul purpose, and how to remember it. I'm going to dive deep into multiple things. First, we'll start out with what is the difference between soul mission and purpose. We need to understand the difference between these two to gain clarity on your life while you're going through things. Secondly, I'm going to share with you the 4 biggest lies when it comes to finding your purpose and your soul mission. Thirdly, I'm going to share with you some of the tools that I've learned on my path that will allow you to gain insight into your purpose and gives you an idea of what it is that you're meant to do here. And lastly, I'm going to share with you some other advice and tips that I've gained through going through my spiritual awakening, through figuring out this path for myself. So if that's something that you love to learn more about, then stay around. So first and foremost, before we even start to debunk some of the lies and before I give you the tools and advice of how to find your soul mission and your purpose, we need to understand what is it, because some of us think that these things are interchangeable, right? That these words soul mission and purpose are exactly the same. Through listening to some of the teachers that I love to watch, that I love to listen to, I actually figured out, and also looking back to my own life, I figured out and I learned that there is a difference between the two. So one of the people that I loved to watch, especially at the start of my spiritual awakening, was Elizabeth April. And what she taught in one of her videos was seeing your soul mission or your purpose as the plan that your soul came here and intended to fulfill when coming here. So when you think about when your soul came down to earth, it had an intention. And this intention was something that it needed to learn. So something that you needed to learn and something that you needed to give. And I loved this idea, and I think this simplifies a little bit the way that we look at soul mission and purpose. Because when you think about the facts, just reflecting on your life, what have I learned in my life that maybe those lessons I can now give to others, right? I think it makes it more tangible, and I think it just gives a lot of clarity to life and why it can be so difficult and the struggles that we were challenged with and we might overcome, and then the wisdom that we gain from that. It's because your soul intended to learn something and then it tended to give something. Another person that I love to watch is Matias Stefano, and one of the things that he teaches is the difference also between soul mission and purpose. And I'm going to link back to Elizabeth April's example. Soul mission, he says, is the mission that the soul comes to earth with. So the mission can be seen as the adventure that your soul intends to walk to find purpose. And now what I love about this is when you because there's similarity between the two different teachings, because your soul mission is basically something you came you came on an adventure to earth, right? And you intended to learn something, as Elizabeth April says it. So soul mission is the journey that you make in order to equip yourself with the things, the lessons, the tools that will reveal to you your higher purpose. So because now you've gained these insights, these lessons, this wisdom, these tools, now you can start giving it to other people. And that is your purpose. So now that we have that clarified, that those two aren't exactly the same and that your soul mission and your purpose are two different things, we're going to debunk the lies. So the first lie, and there are four, the first lie about your purpose is that it needs to be a job title. And this is false. Your purpose isn't a job. It doesn't have to be. It can be, but it doesn't have to be. Your purpose is more in the energy that you embody. It isn't something that you do, it's something that you are. The second lie is that you only have one purpose. Now, to me, this doesn't resonate. And why is that? Is because as we continue to move on our soul mission, as we continue to equip ourselves, as we continue to learn lessons, we overcome challenges, we gain insight and wisdom, our clarity and what we're able to give changes and it evolves. As we evolve, our purpose also evolves. So what was once your purpose or your calling in one particular time in your life doesn't have to be the same thing in 10, 20 years later. The third big lie that some spiritual gurus teach is that you need to be special in order to find your purpose. And this is absolutely BS. Okay? It's absolutely BS because every single person here on planet Earth has a purpose. Every single person here on planet Earth has a soul plan. To find it, you don't have to be special, but there are certain tools and things that you can learn about yourself that will help you find the direction. So no, I don't think that there is one person or you have to be special in order to find your purpose. Because in a way, I feel like this is a way that some teachers, or even, when you have spiritual masters and cults, it draws attention to them in a form that, they are superior over other people. And I don't resonate with that because we all are very powerful and we all have a mission, a purpose, a calling, a reason why we're here. And times are changing. We're not here anymore to follow cult leaders. We're not here to follow a leader. We're here to give the power back to the people and to realize, each and every one of us, that we are all special in our own unique way and that there is no power over, but that we all stand in our unique power. And we embody that. And the last lie, before we're going to dive into the tools, the last lie about your purpose and soul mission is that you need to know your purpose in order to fulfill it. And I think this is such a mind F, because I thought for a long time that I needed to find it in order to fulfill it. And I thought, but what if I do something wrong? And, I'm going to dive later into all the things that I've learned. So I'm not going to share that now. But I was scared to make a wrong decision, and I didn't realize that in order to live my purpose, I didn't necessarily have to know it. And I'm going to share with you in a little bit why that is and why this is false, because in the tools that I'll share with you, this will become clear that you don't necessarily need to know or be aware in order to fulfill it, because it's something that we often subconsciously start doing. We're not even aware that this was supposed to be the direction that we needed to go into. So maybe that will give you a little bit some peace of mind that even if you don't know what it is, doesn't mean that you're not living it. How to connect with your soul mission. This is where it's going to get fun. So the first and foremost, we were talking about equipping yourself with tools, going through challenges, and what I started to see in my journey is that we find purpose when we look back on our soul path, our life path, our soul mission. We look at, okay, what lessons have I learned? What challenges have I grown through? And then you also look at that often when you look at the biggest lessons and the biggest challenges, what you've gone through and what you've learned from that, you can combine it with your special talents, your special gifts. We all are born with a set of unique talents and gifts that we're good at. And it doesn't have to be, when you think about talents, a lot of people think that, you need to be extraordinary at something, or you need to be a great musician or singing or whatever skill that may be, right? But it can be things that are part of your character. It could be something like, being very compassionate, or being a very good listener, or just knowing how to make a lot of fun, or, having a gift for making people smile, or, there's so many different ways that we can look at this. So I challenge you to look at, what are you good at? What are you innately good at? What are your talents? What are your gifts? And then look at those two. So it's somewhere in between your biggest challenge, your biggest lessons in life, and the thing that you're really naturally good at. The second way and tool of how to find your purpose is to do this thing that's called Ikigai. Ikigai is something that I came across when I was actually going through a depression. I wasn't even on a spiritual path yet, but it was a book that I was drawn to, and it's based in a Japanese lifestyle where people grow really, really old. I believe this comes from Okinawa, if I remembered correctly from reading that book. And they live by Ikigai. It gives them a sense of purpose, a reason for being. And I actually filmed a video on my YouTube channel. If you're listening on Apple Podcast or Spotify, then hop over to my YouTube channel, where I actually filmed a video explaining how to find your Ikigai, how to find your reason for being using this framework and model. I found it a really fun exercise, and it gives a lot of clarity, and also especially if you are someone who wants to monetize their purpose. So if you want to monetize your purpose, Ikigai is an amazing way that finds that sweet spot for you. And I'm going to share with you very briefly, but I've created a whole video about this. So if you want to know more in depth of how this works, then check out that video. I'm going to link it in this video and a link in the description below as well. If you're watching on YouTube, Ikigai looks at what you love, what the world needs, what you can be paid for, and what you're good at. And somewhere in the middle, that's where you will find your specific Ikigai. So the third tool of how to find your purpose is to connect with your authentic self. And you might be wondering why. And this connects to the biggest lie of why you don't need to know your purpose in order to fulfill it. It's a little similar because I said earlier, your I want to say Ikigai. No, I've got Ikigai stuck in my head. Okay, we've wrapped that point up. If you want to find your purpose, it isn't about something that you do. It's about the person, the soul, the unique vibration that you are being. So when you are your authentic self, it means that you are the purest form of who you are, your higher self, your soul. And you're not being limited by any condition. So you need to uncondition yourself. So you need to go in and heal your childhood wounds and your limiting beliefs and go back to when that first happened so you can clear everything that's not you. I love this quote of becoming the best version of ourselves isn't about becoming someone else. It's unbecoming everything who we are not. So in order to find your purpose, the only thing actually that you need to remember, if you're feeling anxious and you feel like, oh, I need to find it now because otherwise I feel lost, is just to remember that you don't have to do anything in order to fulfill it. It's about you being you, the best that you can, right? Becoming yourself. And just having that vibration anchored into the planet is the effect, the energetic effect that you have on the world is what the world needs. So whether you make it your career or not, whether you're aware of it or not, it doesn't matter, because you being you is you fulfilling your purpose. And the last point of how to connect with your purpose is something really simple, yet not always simple in practicality, but it's following your intuition. Connecting with your intuition. Sometimes our ego self, our mind that is scared and that doesn't like to not know, wants to figure out and fill in the gaps of the things that we don't know, because then for some reason it feels safer or it feels more in control. But the fact is that you don't need to know always the big thing, the big purpose, the big what am I meant to do here in order to fulfill it. Our intuition, I always call it, is your internal GPS. It's a very customized navigation system that's specifically tailored to you. So your intuition always knows what is the most aligned direction for you in your life right now. What is the tiniest next step that you can take, even if it means connecting with your breath, even if it means allowing yourself to follow that in the most tiniest, simplest daily things and ways that it tells you to. Even if it just allowing you to just lean in a little more and relax and allow things to happen more in your life than just trying to figure it out. Because your intuition, even if you do not know the big thing yet, your intuition, if you follow it, it will always guide you on the best path for you right now. And if you continue to follow that, most likely you're going to bump into people, situations, places, insights that will give you or will set you up to start to fulfill what it is that you're meant to do here. Right? And remember that your soul, your purpose evolves, and that you following your intuition is the best thing that you can do in order to know whether you're on the right path or not. Even if it's still a mystery. We have to learn to be able to surrender to the mystery and being okay with not knowing exactly how things are going to work out, and knowing that whatever our intuition guides us to right now is exactly where we need to go to. So these were the tools and the ways that you can start connecting with your purpose and gain clarity on what it is that you're meant to do here. And then I want to give you some of the biggest tips and things that I've learned on my journey of uncovering my soul purpose and mission. And it's a continuous journey for me as well. I want to give you that. So whenever you're on this journey, you don't have to make those same mistakes as I did, right? So the biggest thing that I wish I knew when I started this journey was, don't be afraid to try new things, to just experiment with doing things and following different paths. Because I had this belief, right? And I think a lot of us have this, is that we're so trained and conditioned to be fearful to do something wrong or to do the wrong thing. And with that conditioning, I actually kept myself stuck in Should I go this way? Should I go that way? Is this good? Is this bad? Oh, I'm failing. Oh, it's not going to work out. Oh, I made a wrong decision. And this state kept me stuck. And I just want to encourage you that there is, in the highest spiritual realm, or just within spirituality, there is no wrong path. There is no wrong decision. We're so conditioned to think that, this is wrong and this is right. But that's not how this works. We just jump into a certain path, jump into a certain decision so that we can learn whether this is for us or not. And the worst thing that can happen, if it's not entirely what you hoped it to be, is that you'll gain a lesson out of it. So even if you make, quote unquote, a wrong decision, it will still lead you to the right one, because now you've learned that no, this is not the right path, and you probably gained some really valuable insight and lessons from it that you can now learn and you've been equipped with in order to be on the right path and serve whatever you're meant to serve here and give. And also, if you're not afraid to make the wrong decision and you just jump and jump and jump and open new doors constantly, then chances are that you're going to find your path a lot quicker, or the right thing, than just staying stuck in freeze. So that's one big thing that I wish I knew. A second thing that I wish I trusted more was actually, I recently had a conversation in an Akashic Records reading, and this woman, her name is Stephanie. She's great. She's amazing. I would recommend her. She told me anything that makes you happy is the right path for you. And I knew this. I've always known this deep down. But there have been times where I got fooled by people. And this actually also brings me to the third lesson. They confused me with what I felt deep down was right and what they felt was right. And so because I didn't truly trust myself, I started to follow their guidance, their clarity for my life, and it didn't fit. It didn't feel right, and it caused me a lot of suffering. And for a long time, I told myself, oh, it's just my ego. I should be more open to doing things in this way. But it was not. My gut was always right. My intuition was always right. And so anything that makes you happy, anything that makes you feel alive, that is a sign that you're on the right path. That is a sign that you're exactly where you need to be, that whatever you're meant to learn or give right now, you're in a sweet spot. So trust that. Trust that whatever makes you happy is the right thing for you, and don't look for outside validation. This was the third thing that I just touched upon now. Just, I think we've been so conditioned to always look for outside validation and not trust ourselves enough. And I've had to learn that lesson the hard way, believe me. We need to trust ourselves. Our biggest guiding light is our intuition, the universe, God, your higher self, all that is, right? Source energy. That is our guiding light. That is the be all to end all. It's the only purest connection that we have that will guide us. Even if people have the best intentions for us, even if people have, or they come across like they know it all so well, they're not God. And I'm not saying don't trust anyone, don't take advice from anyone. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying that if someone wants to overpower you, or if someone comes with advice that doesn't feel quite right to you, then it probably isn't. And you have to learn to lean into yourself, your inner knowing, your connection with God. Trust that that is always the right, most pure path for you. And the last advice that I want to give, and this has been huge for me. This is the reason why I found my calling, my purpose in the first place, was because I was just following my dreams. I was just following my bigger vision, the things that made me so happy, the vision that was the most compelling thing that was driving me, that made me excited, that made me motivated to, how do you say that, to start new things and business ventures, and that led me to new people. If you have a dream and it is planted in your heart, it's planted in your heart for a reason. And I said this in another video. Your dream seeks you too. And I believe that's Rumi who quoted that. Your dreams are planted in your heart for a reason. Your dreams are there because they want you to follow it, to manifest it. They reveal to you your potential that you have and what you could be and how you could live. And just trust it. It's a divine calling. It's not something that we just made up in our minds. It's given to us specifically to us, because we're designed to fulfill that. So that was it for today. Thank you all so much for tuning in. If you have liked this video, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already and you want to be updated with more episodes like this that I upload every Sunday, and my podcast episodes every other week. If you're tuning in from YouTube, and if you're listening in on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, be sure to give my podcast a 5-star review if you really enjoy it. This helps me to reach more people who are needing to hear messages like this, who are on their spiritual path and who are awakening to the truth of who they are and what they came to do here and how they can manifest their best lives. And if this episode inspired you in any way, be sure to share it with someone who you think could use it right now. It really helps the planet to shift in vibration, to wake up. And talking about purpose, that is one of the things that I feel motivated by and deeply called to help uplift humanity and raise the vibration of planet Earth. And don't forget to check out my Lightworker merchandise. I recently created new designs and I'm so excited about how it all turned out. It's a lot more minimalistic, but I love the design, so check it out in the link in the description below if you want to wear conscious messages and spread love and light with the world. And you'll also support me on my journey of creating this content for free. Thank you all so much for tuning in. Keep shining, keep growing, and keep being your beautiful self. I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye for now.